You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
You start in the first part one. This will be you've broken new territory.
Off you go. I'm out.
You're out.
Yes, I've got a meeting at 2.
All right. So Don and Ivan
And Sue.
Thank you, Ivan. We could just do the shout-outs now before we get on to the... Now, I did say, Don, when you were still getting here an hour late, that we cover the same topics because they are always talked about out in the community. And they are the COVID vaccine, what a fraud that is, the climate change, what a fraud that is, the trans debate about trans women in sport, what a hoax that is, the voice that we don't agree with, if you agree with it, good, but we say it's a divisive instrument, and the Victorian government, who I've become a newfound respect for Dan Andrews, because his government is so dishonest and so corrupt, and they lie so much. I actually have respect. They've got my attention, that they can get away with telling absolute blatant lies, tax the living suitcase out of the whole country. That government has no interest in furthering the lifestyles of the people.
Not the whole country, just Victoria.
Well, I was talking about Victoria, yes.
We've got the highest debt, and we are being taxed more than anyone else in Australia.
Yes,
and I thought when you run a business and the state is a business, you've got to return a profit or at least make the books balance. So far, I think we're paying $10 million.
22.
A day. I thought the interest bill was $10 million a day.
Oh, well...
I think the interest bill is, $4 billion a year.
Yeah, but hang on, a day. I said a day.
Anyhow,
10 million a day. I said there's 365
just throwing
days.
Billions round like is it? But Don, we have, and this is not, we're not breaking any news, but we have a higher debt than New South Wales, Tasmania.
I know, we said that
Australia,
months ago, 6 months ago, John, and no one listened.
Put together
on this podcast.
And their government, his government is now taxing every single thing that's not nailed down, and he blamed
I can't believe they're just they're just stifling anybody with any ambition to get on.
My admiration. How that government can blatantly lie and be dishonest and not even worry about it. They're fantastic. It's a lesson.
The other thing is our economy. What do we actually export? I mean, we can't do anything in a manufacturing sense, but primary, like Western Australia's got iron ore, our coal's been closed down. I think they're trying to close down the timber. Is that right? There's a mill that's closed down in Gippsland.
Yes. Yep.
So I don't think there's going to be much export as far as timber goes. And what about the gas in Bass Strait? Doesn't that go overseas instead of going to Australia?
There's a ban on making conventional engines.
What are you talking about?
This government is by the year wants to phase out petrol-driven engines.
It's just not practical, John.
They want to phase out cooking with gas because it's a fossil fuel.
Yep.
The coal-fired power stations are out. They want the beef and dairy industry gone.
But see, the countries overseas, like Japan's taking our coal.
Gas.
No, all gas. Are they as well? Yep. They're certainly taking our coal. And
he's brilliant.
Yeah, but
he is brilliant. His government. They are so. They just.
Yeah, but they've got no opposition.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yep.
Now,
can we give a shout out? I've got the shout outs.
Get the shout outs, Don. Here we go then. Sue, you got any shout outs?
No, but I'm confused.
Why?
What?
I'm confused about the Dan Andrews. Because of the gas thing, they want to stop the gas, right?
Yep. They don't want you to cook with gas in your home.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So I had an electric hot water system. And then what they did was I wanted to replace it. So then the people said, don't get there's a grant going out for the government is funding the hot waters for gas. So you're better off by putting it on gas. So I got I got a grant, which the government paid for, to change my hot water from electricity to gas. Now and that was less than 18 months ago. And now they want to change it.
They are just out of control. They are patent and congenital liars. And we put up with it. We got no alternative.
There you go.
I heard Albanese say the other day, and I learned in economics in leaving, that's year 11 in today's language, about inflation. And what we learned back then, and it hasn't changed, about you increase wages to keep up with costs, all you do is create inflation. Now Albanese's spruiking, since we've been in power, we've increased wages and all of that. But there's a
Maybe
flow-on
for
effect
himself.
from that, it just keeps on cycling. The businesses, you've got to put up your prices, and it just flows on. So what's the point of increasing wages when you just the cost will be passed on, and it's just a never-ending cycle.
And they won't cut any of the promised funding projects. I think what they'll do is they'll just delay it. So
You'll like this one. In the budget announced last night or the night before, $30 million they're going to give for roads and maintenance in Victoria.
It won't go
30
anywhere.
million. That's nothing.
The roads are not... I said this last week. The roads in the country, they're 300 deep or something, and in the city... and in the city they make them 900. Now,
and your truck's done a diff on
Don't
the roads.
you worry, my
You've
truck's
told us that five
rooted.
5 podcasts in a row you've said your truck's
still
broken
being
its diff.
fixed.
Hey?
Still
being
being
fixed.
as soon as I'm
it's
off
only
to
being fixed because
Queensland.
you didn't pay the registration.
Exactly. Thank God I didn't pay the rego and found out everything that's wrong with it.
Now, Dr. Tom, did I mention this or am I repeating myself? Dr. Tom, I was having a blood test for another reason.
What for?
I reckon I got about one new shirt left in me and I'm out. I'm going to go down to Tobin Brothers.
What's wrong with you with the blood?
I'm going into Tobin Brothers and go to the front desk and go, shop! So I reckon I'm not long here. So Dr. Tom, he said, hello, Sam, I'm Tom. I said, what are you? He said, I'm a doctor. He said, I love the podcast. I said, I'll give you a shout out, Doc. Gee, this is fantastic.
Why do doctors listen to this?
Well, michaelchristianmenswear.com says Stuart. No, I've got this in abbreviations. It's either Stuart Ring, like Doug Ring's son, or it's Stuart from Ringwood. I think it's Stuart from Ringwood. I don't think his name's Stuart
Hang on, what do you
Ring.
think? Ring.
Stuart from Ringwood wants a shout out, and he says, now you think I'm making this up? I'll show you the text that Michael Christian Menswear said. He likes Don's dumbass comments. That's why he listens, for your dumbass comments. That's a backhanded compliment, Don. That's saying you're a dumbass, but he likes the way you are a dumbass. Look at him. Look, you're blank.
No,
Your face is...
you're just hiding behind Michael's comments. You're as weak as...
I'll show you.
Now, Mick Keeney, he's a bricklayer. We appeal to bricklayers as well. Now, Mick is a bricklayer down in Sorrento, and he was pulled up the other day. What are you doing, Mick? On the job. He was listening to our podcast. You can't believe it.
Not on the phone.
Do you have... Sue,
Yeah.
do you have little earpieces so you can listen to the podcast?
Pods, they're called.
earpods, yes, Don.
Well,
But
that's
it
what he was doing.
Does come through the radio if you Bluetooth it.
Yeah, but he's a bricklayer, and
Did you hear that?
You've got to have 2 hands to lay bricks, but he was listening to the podcast. So,
So he wasn't driving.
No, he's laying bloody
You
bricks.
said
Oh,
he was
he's-
driving. And I said, well, was he on the
Driving.
phone?
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I really?
And Sue
think so.
said you can Bluetooth it. And do you know what that means?
No.
I wondered why he looked at
Magically
me
goes
really
through the
blank.
air.
Yeah, that,
What?
Your eyes look like Catherine wheels. They went round and
Anyway,
round and
Mick Keeney, the bricklayer with the what do you call them?
Pods.
Earpods. He lays bricks with his earpods.
So that's
In.
In.
So that's Stuart from Ringwood, and he loves your dumbass comments. And the caps are going out like hotcakes, Don. The caps and the memorabilia.
They're not. You're talking shit.
No, I'm not.
They're struggling. The caps are struggling.
Rory from
Rory.
from Rooty Hill. Now, is there such a place?
Yes, Sydney.
Yes.
Yes.
I
New South
never knew
Wales, the
that
doc
was
will know
just,
that.
They've got some terrific names up there.
New
Woy
South
Woy. I
Wales.
love Woy Woy.
Yeah.
And Rooty Hill.
No, I just mentioned Rooty Hill, Don.
Mount Druitt.
Rory from Rooty Hill. He's into the caps and loves the podcast, and it's
Big RSL club there.
At Rooty Hill.
Yep.
What's it called? Rooty Hill
Rooty
RSL.
no wonder Stuart loves your dumbass comments. There's just one of them. There's a classic dumbass comment, Stuart. Beautifully done, Don. Got shout outs there quickly.
There, can I read a letter? Here is your soap now. I hope I can get all this correct.
I hope you
The
read it
writing,
properly. No, read
no,
it
the
properly.
writing, it's handwritten. Don,
You're the sum of all your experiences. They've shaped who you are today. We provide home care with your individuality at the centre. At Davida, we empower you to live your life your way. Your life your way.
this comes all the way from America. Here is your soap number 23. I trust this is up to your Solvol standards, irrespective of your opinion. Mr. Newman has of my peacock moniker. It is strictly given out of respect for your colourful bespoke wardrobe. I would also like to lodge a formal complaint in the strongest possible terms at Sam's oftentimes disrespected on-air comments regarding your neurocognitive capabilities. In my review of the podcast, and since the untimely departure of Rocket, you have been one of the sole stabilising anchors of these broadcasts. Furthermore, any fellow ruckman who would give up a glass house with Pamela etched into the facade on its own merits, worthy of, geez, here we go,
Neuro. I don't know. You're reading
psychiatric, shit a brick. Why did he write
psychoanalyse.
Just testing your
this?
IQ
This is
level.
really, Sue, you've got a few brains. Can you see that word?
So this has come from
Plasticity.
America.
This has come from America.
Is he in
Consult.
America?
Psychiatric.
Be safe and continued good health. Let me know if the soap is worthy. Dr. Z.
Dr. Zeus.
No, Dr. Z. That's how he signs it, Dr. Z.
Well, see, he won't put his name to it.
Another one.
Another one. Another hides behind anonymity, Don. Why doesn't
Well,
he?
he listens. He sent this soap.
Why doesn't
It's
he put who
fantastic.
he is?
Very nice.
It's very. How would you know?
Oh, very nice that he sent it.
Exactly.
I tell you
Smells
what, we'll
good.
get Dr.
It does
Zeus.
smell
Is
good.
it you smell good, or is it you?
Do you think I could put this in with my clothes? Remember?
You could
Put
do
it in
anything
down
and
the
you'd
front of
smell
your
good.
pants, Don. That'll make you smell good down in the nether regions. Now, Don, why don't you get Dr. Z?
Why would I put it down there?
Because you want to smell good down there. You're down around the nether regions, don't you? You don't want to be smelling like a draft horse down there. You want a fragrant air
And
coming
by the
through your
way,
underwear.
I got a text the other day.
Why don't we get Dr. Zoo
Shut
on
up. I got a text. Should I read out this number? This is somebody sending me a scam.
I wouldn't.
Hi, I was bored. So I dialed, geez, I've got to read this. This is hard. A random number to try and find someone to talk to. Hope I'm not disturbing you. I am Amy. I've just arrived in Australia and I am currently
I've got the
single.
same text.
Hey, I got that too.
Bullshit.
I do.
I do too.
I did too.
Yep,
You did, Sue.
yep. We've all got them, Don.
Yeah.
Amy's just having a crack at anyone who's standing erect and breathing.
Yeah, I didn't. I just
So
blocked
we'll
it.
get her over
Sorry.
here and give her the lifestyle she's accustomed
I
to.
thought
She'll
you might-
take our house from us and our car, and she'll fuck
Where's
off
she
back to
from?
where she came from.
I love to travel.
Yep.
Gee, she could come to Queensland with me, and I'm hoping to find a partner who seems like fun. Well,
That's it.
That's me.
Ask her if she
You're
likes
about
horses.
as funny as the back of a handball court. You have no humour. You're the most stringent, severe man, and not one spark of humour in you. Yeah, hey, Amy, I hope Amy meets you. She'll go straight back with the tail between her legs to
You
Colombia
can add
or wherever.
me on WhatsApp. Don't talk to me about she's not into porn, or I'll get mad. Under 25, please don't. Under
No,
25,
she's
please don't
a
bother.
tight ass. She's tight
Thank you,
ass.
Susan. Princess Grace. Princess Grace of Monaco here has just entered the studio. Thank you, Princess Grace. AOM.
Because she wants to do what's.
And member of the Lord Mayor's Committee for what?
She doesn't want to call you because she's got to pay a full fare. She wants to do it on WhatsApp because it's free.
What do you think of her, Sue? She's a hooah! Nothing but a hooah! She's a tight ass. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. I reckon Jim from Gymland, I reckon he might be struck off the registry of Gymland. He can't have His Royal Highness King Jim of the First. I reckon you're off. She's a tight ass.
We've fixed that committee.
Might be from Jimland.
Jim, she's a tight ass. So now, Don, I know I mentioned this. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. Just on the, I did mention, didn't I, about the trans cyclist? He wouldn't step on the top podium of the. Did
I wasn't here.
off-air?
You could have done it before
Did
I
I
was
do that
here.
off air or did I do it on air? This is how to combat.
Not sure now.
I think I'll say it again. This is how to combat trans people entering women's sport.
No,
Men
we didn't.
dressing up as
No,
women.
we talked about it off
Well,
air.
there was a picture of a trans cyclist who was on the top step of the podium, and the other two spots were vacant because they wouldn't stand on the same podium. And the trans cyclist beat the second place getter in this race by 17 minutes. Not seconds, minutes. And they're allowing this person, this man dressed as a woman, to compete in women's sport. It is, and as I said to James Tonkin, if you've got two X chromosomes, you're a woman. If you've got an XY, you're a man, or a male or a female, and that's it. And that's how we decide who plays sport and in which category. So that was that. Do we want to go any further with anything else that we're talking? What about the roadworks? How many roadworks can a city or a suburban city like Melbourne and suburban areas at any one time disrupt the traffic?
The roads are shocking, mate.
I go down this, if you're listening in America, that Mr. Zoo is Mr. Z. If you go down Beaconsfield Parade today, which I did, they blocked off one lane of Beaconsfield Parade so that the lawnmower, the bloke sitting on the lawnmower, could mow the nature strip.
Well, that's a precaution because you don't know if he might shoot a stone up or something else. And
They've got guards on them, Don. And
no, sometimes not, Johnny.
No, Don, please. If a stone's going to shoot out the side of a mower with a rotary blade, it'll shoot straight across 4 different lanes. It is, and the traffic was banked up. It's a cottage industry, the witch's hat industry.
The cottage industry is these road work. Your little ute, put your signs on the back, and out you go. That's
what I
the
said.
new industry that started up.
I just said that, Don. Putting out witches' hats, cones.
What do you think about the one that happened yesterday, Extinction Rebellion, that
What's
blocked
that?
off
but
the
they-
Westgate?
no,
They
but-
glued themselves.
No, but they're just insects. They're just.
Hang on. Don't cut him off. Tell me about it.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Don. Thank you, Don.
Well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so Extinction Rebellion, all their protesters.
change people.
Climate change. And they glued themselves to the car.
Fair.
On the
and
west,
glued themselves also
on the
to-
Kingsway,
Yeah,
disrupted the
Westgate.
traffic.
So
How do
for
you,
hours and hours
I've
and
often
hours.
wondered, so they obviously use super glue. How do you get that bloody super glue? How do you unglue yourself using
With,
super
Well,
with the
I
lava
guess the police will be pretty
solvol
adept
block
now.
of pumice stone there, Don.
No, mate, I've done it with super glue.
No. Anyhow, I don't. But they give them publicity. They should they should have people get out of their cars and just drag them and drag the skin off their hands. What if they leave the skin of their hands on the road and drag them straight off onto the nature strip? If you got enough people, 100 people got out of their cars, they could rip them off there in a trice. Don? Sue?
What about the traffic lollipop man the other day?
No. What about him?
What about him?
Well, what did he do?
Well, there was this car and it was coming up and it was, stop. It had a stop signal.
Oh, this is me.
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't realise. He wasn't a lollipop man. Have a listen to
There's a
this, Don.
stop lollipop man.
I'm lucky to be here, Don.
Hey, hang on, who's telling the story? You've cut.
Well, no, it was supposed to be a lead-in for him, but he had the vague moment.
When you said lollipop, because it wasn't a lollipop man, it was a bloke with a stop and a go slow sign, and they had blocked off this lane I was in, which I'm on the right side, and you had to go onto the opposite lane, which is the traffic. So he says, go, and he turns it go, and I go out, and a truck comes from the left-hand side right angles and turns onto his correct lane, and I nearly honestly was written off by a Kenworth truck who did a right-hand turn onto his correct lane, but I'd been pushed off onto the incorrect lane because the bloke said, you can go now.
So he wasn't obviously didn't have his radio going with the fellow down the road.
He was a dumbass, Don. He was this. You've got nothing. You've not.
You don't have to have a university degree to do that job.
Exactly, Don. But you've got performing clowns holding those signs up. So he said, "Go." So I go, and I nearly wrote the truck off. Nearly wrote myself off.
Which car were you in?
The one that the vagrant was sleeping in. And
Which one's that? Which were the
one.
Lamborghini?
no,
The E-Type.
no, Don. Why don't you mention all the cars I've got?
I'm going through the
Ferrari.
boss.
So I
The
pull,
boss.
So I pull up next to the man with the sign, and I was about to say, "You fucking!" I got the F. I said, "You." He said, "Mate, I'm sorry."
Oh.
So it's pretty hard to sell someone they're a fucking idiot when they apologise. But that would have been good. I've been lying under a 45-ton Kenworth truck smashed to
Well,
the
you've done
shithouse.
that before. You've had a car run over and you've stayed there.
No, that's true, Don. That's
You've
true.
had plenty of altercations with vehicles over the years.
You've had a lot of near misses
Oh,
lately,
one
haven't
on the
you?
West Gate as
Maybe you
well.
should have to go get your licence renewed.
Oh, what has he done? He's run. He's run. Tell him about the time you swung down from up at the top of the boat, out at sea.
No one's interested in that, Don.
They are. Did you hear that story?
No.
They
Tell
had
me,
a
Don.
race.
This is true.
This is a race up on the top deck. Have you
We were
ever
on
been
a
these ocean
cruise
liners?
on the
cruise?
Orsova. The Orsova.
Yeah,
Geelong
I mean
were
it's
on
a
it.
long way up. You get a little bit mistake. You know, you're out there and you think, oh, the water's pretty close. But let me
And
tell you,
Bill
it's a long
Goggin-
way down.
Bill
and they
Goggin-
said, we'll have a race. So
We were
bloody
down in F
bugger
deck,
lugs.
which is under the water level.
Yes.
And it was just above the water level. And we were up on the top planes. And Bill said, I'll beat you down to the, Bill Goggin, he said, I'll beat you down to the cabin. So off he goes and he presses the button for the lift. I just got over the side of the ship and swung down outside the ship onto F deck. And I'm standing there by the elevator when he arrived. I said, he said, where did you get here? I said, I went outside the ship. He said, you what? So I did. But
We had a bloke climb up on the flag. You know that
when the
flag?
booze is in, the brain's out, Sue. Never let that be lost on you. Yeah.
You
What?
idiot.
Yeah, you idiot. And I pulled up, Don, I got a photograph of here of the Micah ambulance outside the woman on Beaconsfield Parade. So I get out with my camera and the Micah man, the ambulance man, said, what are you doing? I said, I'm actually taking a photo of the most disgraceful waste of your time. And he said, well, you got your photo. And I know he agreed with me, but every other day, that Micah ambulance is outside that woman camped on Beaconsfield Parade. It's a disgrace. Only
What were they
because
doing for her?
She is exploiting. She is a bludger.
Okay, but what were they doing? Taking her to hospital?
No, they were checking on her health.
Randomly.
Randomly.
Do you people shop at Aldi?
I beg pardon?
Do you people shop at
If
Aldi?
you say you went past the
Oh,
junk...
geez, that bloody Aldi, it is a trap.
Go on, what are you going to say?
What
If
did you
I
use?
bought these hanging baskets for $4 and I thought,
He's
gee,
done
this
this-
is good
you've done-
value.
he's done
I
this
went there.
Three
No,
times,
shut
yeah,
up, shut up. I went there just the other day. They're gone down to $2. I couldn't resist.
come
So
on.
I went and bought another half dozen. It's cost me $300 bloody dollars because I've got to fill them up with plants and also
Did
potting
you
mix.
keep the receipts of the other ones? Because then you could have taken them back and got a
If
refund and then
Mr.
got
Z
cheaper
is
ones.
listening, if
Thanks.
Mr.
I
Z,
didn't.
See?
if Mr. Z is listening to
Aldi
this from
should be
America,
shot- They should be investigated, Aldi.
if Mr. Z
That's the
is listening
greatest
this
trap.
from America, and he wants to know about your mental acuity, Mr. Z, you dickhead, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Don has mentioned Aldi and buying
I got
those
trapped
hanging
again.
baskets
I
4
got trapped
podcasts in a row,
I
and
went
you're
for-
worried about
I've got hanging
my
baskets
mental
everywhere at
acuity.
home.
What?
I've got them everywhere at home, hanging from the shed underneath the verandas, full of bacopa. Do you know what bacopa is? It's a little white flower that creeps out over. It'll look good when it's finished growing.
And what, you're decorating your porch for what reason? When you take Sue
Yes.
back after the boxing?
Woohoo, look out.
Are you going to did you
See, I
ever
told you he's nervous. Look at him.
Do you ever entertain anyone in front of the bacopa plants?
What about
Well,
that
look-
girl you had over the other day? You said,
Which one?
ooh,
Oh,
That got his
there's a
attention.
cavalcade of them. What? How many girls you got over there, Don?
he's got a couple
Well,
going at
Amy.
the moment, I believe. The old stud muffin.
A stud muffin. I haven't heard that for a while.
I haven't. That's a
A
ripper.
stud muffin. It's a very, very
it's a
good
good
term.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a very, very good
stud
term.
muffin.
Don,
Jesus, we've got some funny
Yeah.
terminology.
Don.
Do you know whose birthday it is today? Robert Zimmerman.
Oh, that's
Oh,
He's a singer,
testing
isn't he?
you now, aren't I?
he's a singer.
Well done.
No, I don't know who Bob
And
Zimmerman.
he put out a song back in the 80s, or the 60s, late 60s, which I thought was a little bit risque, how it got past the censor, and the song was Lay Lady Lay.
Yeah, lady, lady.
That's right, Bob Dylan.
Is he Bob Zimmerman,
Bob,
is he?
yeah, Robert Zimmerman. This is Robert Zimmerman.
Don, quickly, I was going to say to you then, please. Oh, now, so the guest that we have to interview, we've already interviewed. So we're just telling people this. We interviewed for the third time Dr. Robbie Peterson, more revealing facts and data and figures about the vaccine and the COVID vaccine that has been universally acclaimed and confirmed by many medical people from overseas about the dangers of it. So we've already done that interview, and we're going to play the video that we did last December. So if you hear us say on the video, because it's 6 months old, yes, reference to the Australian Open and the tennis, you'll know that it was done 6 months ago, but at least you can see who Robbie Peterson is. Does that make any sense to you?
No, I'm struggling.
Well,
so you're saying the people are not going to see Don in his get-up?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Ivan. I think we will actually do...
My bespoke outfit.
Yeah, bespoke.
Very
Bespoke.
snappy.
Yeah, I know what bespoke
Can't
is.
you just superimpose him in the photo, do a video and then just put him in there?
Shut up, Sue.
It's a bit-
What we're going to
bit
do
technical
is we're
for
going
us.
to get a picture of Ma and Pa Kettle ready on their way to the boxing, and they're just. And Don, I am going to
Bar and park.
I am going to video you, and you and Sue are going to do the introduction to this podcast. That's what, and you can be in it too, Ivan.
All right.
And I'm going to video
Oh, shit,
it
there'd be no song without
because I
Ivan.
can't stand there with. I don't want to be standing
Why
there
not?
because I don't want.
Sympathy.
I
You
don't want
want
sympathy. That's exactly. I don't want sympathy.
Take it off.
Well, thank you. Against doctor's orders, Sue. Yes, I will do that.
Oh, well, that's the first time you listened to a doctor before.
Now, just tell me, so as we come to a close...
when are we
this
getting
is-
the ankle
shut
done
up.
talking about your injuries?
This is late in the afternoon. Normally the podcast would be downloaded by now, so it's about mid-afternoon. What are you and Sue going to do before the boxing?
We're going to go for dinner.
Where are you going, Don?
Where are you taking me, Don?
Yeah. Do you want a land of a...
Well-
Mad Duck. Do you want to go to the Mad Duck?
They're shut.
They
they shut
they're
down in
just
the afternoon.
they're just a lunchtime thing. I can give you some...
Vouchers?
I've got some Peking duck. Good.
Peking duck, yeah.
What, cold?
You
We
could-
could heat it up.
I tell you what, you could come up to my place and I could cook you some Peking duck pancakes.
What, with one hand?
Well, Sue's coming as well.
She can't cook.
Well, this is not cooking. This is just preparing. Oh no, seriously, I could do that if you wanted to. Do you want to do that? Anyhow, we'll
We
discuss.
can
that
dine in
after.
at Sam's place.
Yeah, dine in at my
She says
place.
might get
that's
to the
going to be a...
boxing.
Don't tell me it's a threesome.
All right. A menage de trois, I think that's called, isn't it? Don, no, just seriously, just say, shut up, Don. Stud muffin. Just say, I want to ask you this question, and we don't have to have Sue. We'll turn Sue's... just say
think we
we get
do
up
turn it off.
Get up to my apartment, and Sue said, "Hey, listen, boys, what about..." and
Excuse me.
put the word on you, Don.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what
We're
would- what would
we've
you
got
do?
a lady. We've got a
She
lady
suggested it.
We've got a lady in our midst, and I.
Only if you supply the magic mushrooms.
Holy shit! So you sure you're not on painkillers?
I think she's off her head today.
Sure you're not.
God.
Yeah. What was that thing you said? She said. What was the thing she said? Princess Grace of Monaco. She's full of shit. No, what did you say? What did she say?
She's a tight ass.
Oh, tight ass. Yeah. Righto, that's it. Now, Don, that's it. This is a short one today because
Short
I'm
one.
ill.
Well,
Oh,
you'll
no,
be back on
seriously,
air again.
I'm so ill. So that's it. So any other final announcements, Ivan?
Done. I've got my certificate.
Did you give us Did you give us a topic at all today?
No.
Did anybody recognise you coming through the airport today, Ivan?
No, nobody.
Oh, shit, I'd
No.
crack
Oh,
the
yeah, I've got a
shits,
shout
Ivan,
out.
if you don't get recognised. What about at the supermarket?
No.
No selfies?
Chemist's Warehouse.
No.
Yeah, at the footy.
Okay,
No.
kids. Righto. Well, all right. Well, say goodbye, everyone. So that's it.